Hello, hello, hello. Making another putty clay video with my Cookie Monster today, which is matching the putty, which is nice. And my pants also. Not really, but it looks good. It looks good together, all of it. So the squirrels in the tree jumping around, and that is very nice. And early this morning I woke up and there were such beautiful sounds in this forest in front of my window. And it sounded just like these prehistoric photos that I saw as a child, of the Jurassic era. These amazing prehistoric photos. And somewhere I also heard the sounds for that as well. It must have been in some kind of museum when I was a child, and then later on, of course, they did simulations and stuff like this. And it was like, I don't know, 6 o'clock or 5 or something. The sun was coming up already. And there were these prehistoric sounds in the distance. And some of them were close by, and there were different birds suddenly out there. I wonder why. Global warming? I wonder if global warming has something to do with that. It suddenly brings some tropical birds over here that are not native, that that will come over here because it might be too hot where they're living. I don't know. But these sounds of the birds, that was so beautiful. I really enjoyed that. Could have been also local birds, I don't know. It just sounded like they were prehistoric. They made such cute, amazing sounds, like a little bit like the stellar jays, but sounded deeper. More like the velociraptor. I want to talk about what women want today because I see so many misunderstandings out there on the internet when men are so desperately trying to get themselves a date or even a long-term relationship with a woman, and they wonder why they can't find one. So the very first thing is that they want this too much, and when they want it too much, then they stand in their own ways, and not only do they sabotage themselves, that too, which this is the main subject I want to talk about, but they are also energetically standing in their own ways to achieve that. They become rather unempowered in that process. So here's a marzipan flower for you. And I just love making these flowers. It's gorgeous. I love it. Every day I want to make those. So, and this is my message to them. First of all, the very first thing is you have to let go. You have to let go of the goal, of the end goal. Let go of it energetically. Drop it. Do something else with your life, get into something else. Don't be investing all of your time and money and energy into this dating. And you're probably also going to end up with the wrong person and with someone that's not compatible to you, and with misunderstandings constantly, and not seeing the other person in the process, the other person not seeing you. So that's why this is so incredibly important, of course, for women too. We need to know what the other person is all about. We need to understand them better. It's very. What? Oh, I forgot. Okay, I'll eat it later. Making video. I told him that I'm making a video, but he interrupted me anyway. So, as if this could not wait. So, but yeah. Um, so don't make the mistake, as Paul always does with women or with anyone. Don't make the mistake in not seeing the other person's needs. So, and that's what most people seem to be doing. They don't see the other person's needs. Yeah. This is the most important step towards better communication, better understanding. And I like that Owen Cook. I like what he's doing. He meets people where they are. He takes them by the hand. He brings them to the redwood forest and to Hawaii and to other beautiful places and nature, which is like totally away from the bar scene. And that's absolutely cool. That guy is cool. If I would meet him the way, I saw the footage of him going into the bars, storming into the bars and showing how he does it, the coming on process and all of this. And I must say, if I was in that bar, I would already feel very awkward and uncomfortable. But if I was in that bar and this guy comes in, I don't know him, and he storms in there and he comes onto women, I would immediately withdraw and feel like, oh, he's never gonna like me, and I'm not pretty enough for him, and I'm too fat and too old, and this and that and that. And I'm dorky, I don't adapt, I'm dressed differently, and so on. So I would already be very intimidated. But now that I have seen him in the videos, I get an idea now what his character is and how he's thinking, and that he has a vision for the world, and that he's an angel soul, and that he's bringing love and light to the world, and what the whole thing is behind this, and why he is coming with that approach, with that kind of like collective, colloquial type of tone. So obviously it's to meet people where they are, right? And that is, I guess, what I don't do. My videos is like, someone comes to my videos and they go like, what the fuck? That is just so out of this world. But I can't help it. This is who I am. Sorry, I don't know better. This is where I am at in my soul development. I'm not an angel soul. I don't have that ability to meet people where they are. So I'm sounding out my radio frequency that is like totally different to the radio frequency of the colloquial social norm. So it doesn't swing on the same frequency. It doesn't vibrate on the same frequency. But that's okay. Someone's got to be different. There have to be people that are different. It would be terribly boring, right? If everyone was totally adapted. I mean, yeah, I can't do what Owen Cook does. I can't go there, storm into the colloquial, to the populace, to the pop scene, pop into the pop scene and take them by the hand and say, come, gradually, we're going into the redwood forest now, so that I can show you that there are things other than bars in the world, and there are places that are beautiful, and you can also meet someone there, maybe that would be a more compatible person for you. Just wondering, maybe the bar scene is not the best of all places, and certainly not the healthiest. Okay, it gets people to drink alcohol and do other things and ingest other unhealthy things, and it's not good for you. And it's not good for your sex life. You know, this is something I know for 100% certain, that enjoying the pleasures of the senses is best done when you are completely sober. Okay, take my word for it this time. This is, I can tell you, that is a guaranteed, but still try it out for yourself. Guaranteed. Okay, but try it. Don't say no. Try it first. Try it drunk and try it sober and see how it goes. I did both. Yeah. And I didn't like it drunk. The only thing I liked when I was drunk was I could forget about my pain, my emotional pain. And that was cool. We were all drowning our emotional pain, and then we were laughing together about bullshit. And then in the early morning hours, we were hanging out the windows and throwing up onto the street. Yeah, that's not the coolest of all lifestyles. So it's not fun memories. I remember hanging out with this woman. She wasn't doing this anymore, and I wasn't doing this anymore. But she looked back to that era and said, "Oh, I miss that era. That was so much fun." I didn't really know what to say. I just thought, yeah, I drowned out my pain, but was it so much fun? It wasn't even fun for the senses, for my physical body senses. The sex was terrible when I was drunk. Like I wouldn't enjoy it at all. The guy would be rough. As soon as the guy is rough with me, I'm like, it doesn't matter whether I'm sober or drunk. I immediately retreat. I run off. I get out of the room, out of the house. I sign out. I get a taxi. I drive away. No, I can't deal with this at all. I can't be around someone who is rough with my body in any way. A man with long fingernails does not work for me. I dated this photographer in 2010. It was I would say that was the worst date of my entire life, and I had several. That was the worst. No, he was much older than me, but that's not the worst thing, actually. There are some, he was like, I don't know, he was like 64 or something. But there are men in their 60s who are very potent and everything. But this guy, he was constantly overdoing. He was constantly smoking marijuana every opportunity he got. Like, he was puffing away on some joints in his real dirty truck. He smelled bad. And he was dirty. He was greasy. He didn't wash himself before he came onto the date. Then he did like everything wrong you can possibly imagine. Okay, this is a very explicit video, but I think it's important to discuss this. I think it's very important. It feels giggly and it feels a little awkward and all of this, but in as they always say, the devil is in the details. I think it's important to talk about these things to really get people to understand that when you date someone, when you meet someone, particularly meet someone in person for the first time, you had been talking to them on the internet or something, or talk to them on the phone, but then you get to meet them, you really want to be the best you can be. You really want to, you want to take a shower first, which I did all of these things. And I felt sexy, I felt stellar, I had my sexy mini dress on underneath. I had pants on top of it. I don't run around with a mini dress. I don't like that at all. So it was just for underneath and for later. And yeah, it was, I felt really good. And then this guy comes and he's dirty, he smells like an old hippie, he smells like marijuana and tobacco even. He had tobacco in there too. Yikes. And it was, and then on top of it, that was not all. Then he brought with him a set of lingerie. I already told him he was gonna be taking photos of me. That was the whole thing, was I wanted photos for James Hetfield. That was so ridiculous, this whole thing. Yeah, we all have our sillinesses. But there no good photos came out of it. It was just pornographic, which I didn't want, and I'd already been in this business before, so for me that was not something new or uncomfortable. But that's not what I wanted. I wanted some stellar photos. I wanted some artistic photos with that red dress. I wanted to be leaning over a large driftwood at the beach, but it was cold and kind of rainy and cloudy that day, and he just wanted to get away from the beach as fast as possible. And even though he lives inland, he should have been so grateful to say, "Yay! I'm at the beach after 10 years not having seen the ocean. There's the ocean. I love you, ocean. I'm so great. I love you, whales. I'm grateful to be here. It's cold, but let's make these amazing photos now with your red dress, and let's shiver a little bit, and let's have the hair stand up on end, but let's have fun with it." No, he just wanted to get away from there as fast as possible, and he wanted to get into the motel room. Shit. So, all of this, like seeing women as, yeah, the bang material as quick as possible, and at the straightest route to it. That's a total taboo. If you want to date a woman, first of all, for your own joy and fun, it's nice to first talk and talk and talk and talk, and get to know the person and feel comfortable with the person, and ask some sweet questions, not naughty, not inquisitive, not cross examination, not being dominant or controlling, but be asking some questions. How are you feeling? What's your favorite color? What do you like to do in your life? And she says, "I'm an artist. I paint." And you say, "That's fantastic. Show me your artwork. I want to see your artwork." Some people have done that right on Facebook. A few of them have done that right. But then later on came the bullshit. So, but in the beginning, some of them, they get so far, to a certain degree, but then they'll throw in some acid attacks or something verbally, Allahu Akbar, and the whole thing is finished. Okay, so and then I say, "Dissolve Islam," and that dissolve the entire contact, and the person can sign out, or I can like click the block button. So yeah, particularly for those people who have been totally brain damaged by their religions, I highly recommend to you, no matter who you want to date. It could be someone of your same religion. Do what I'm telling you, you know. Feel the other person. Feel that the woman is a living being like you with very similar needs. She has an inner child just like you have. She has a soul that is genderless just like you have. We are persons. The animals are persons too. That's why I want to get personhood rights for animals. I still have to put the link in the video. So I'll put the link under this and the former one. So hope I don't forget this later today. I want to do this. And this is very important. This is extremely crucial that we give animals personhood rights, because it moves us towards love. And when we have love, we have everything for all of us. It will be so enriching for all of us, including for our sensual lives, for our love lives, and everything. I don't want this to be misunderstood again. Don't have sex with animals, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. The animals are our children, okay? We are their caregivers. We are, because obviously with the human in the human situation, the human state of brain has that responsibility. That's why we have the responsibility to become vegans, okay? And we can easily do it. You do not need any of these proteins and fats in animal meat or animal products. You don't need this. So, and was very interesting also what Teal Swan said. You know, she's a complete vegan, has been for many, many years. And she said she cannot have sex with a meat-eating man, okay, because, and she explained that, why that is. Because slaughtering animals is murder and torture, okay? And this is a fact, okay? And this is an energetic breach, and it is an energy vibration that is so dark and so negative and so gruesome that still lingers, okay? And it's a man who eats that torture and that suffering will have that torture and suffering energy in him, and it will go into the woman, you know, of course, you know. And then the woman is totally overwhelmed with that energy of the suffering and all of this. I had to think about this also again last night. I even dreamed about this. I woke up thinking about Teal Swan, what she said. This amazing woman. Gosh, what an amazing woman. Whew. It's like crystal clear blue. That's what her aura is. The most crystal clear blue aura, like the sky, like sort of like this, like an more like an indigo blue, the most indigo marine blue, shining and radiating, incredible. That's the aura I see in her. And that amazing skin and this amazing face and body, and even though she is way underweight, I always think, girl, you need to fatten up. But I'm coming from my own fat standards, you know. I'm overboard in the other direction. But I always think, oh, she needs to gain some weight. That's not good. But, you know, it is actually much healthier to be thin, not anorexic. No, not at all. No, you cannot be anorexic. That's malnourishing. But to be thin, you know, that is, if we lived in the wild, to be thin like Teal Swan is the actual normal, healthy, ideal state. That's actually the case. It's kind of hard for me to admit that because I always have this mother bear nurturing instinct. You need to fatten up, my baby. So I always want to fatten everyone up. But, I think it is healthier, the way she is. And that is actually ideal. And even though she's too thin in my personal, you know, taste for existence, she's still mega sexy. Still, there aren't that many women that are still really mega sexy when they're that thin. So I find it sexier with fat on. But there are some men that find really obese women sexy. When I see obese women, I see unhealthiness, I see suffering, I see torment, even if they were vegan. But most of them are not. They have the animal suffering in their fat cells. So they're vibrating with torment and suffering and torture. Not good for you at all. Okay. Not good at all. But I'm vegan and I am overweight, and it is not very healthy. But I'm not obese in that sense that this this one guy likes it. So one guy likes women that are double of what I am, that are like 400 pounds. I'm like, 217. So, and I'm 5'9", which is overweight, but it's not. I don't call it. I call it fat, but not obese. So I still have a body contour. So when the fat is so bad where you can't even identify the body shape anymore, that's when it's really critical. But it's already unhealthy the way I am fat. I admit that. Okay. But right now this is where I'm at, and this is how I feel comfortable. There's a lot of men who like this. I would say the absolute vast majority of men on this planet like that. But Teal Swan certainly attracts every man because even though she's thin, because she is just so incredibly beautiful. It's almost once makes you cry. That's how beautiful she is. And I'm not gay or bisexual. And I say this because I'm an artist. I see beauty. So I recognize beauty. And I have dissolved my ego to the point where, and I've always recognized that, always had had, I don't know how to call it. I always had the humbleness to acknowledge another woman's beauty. So, but now I have been working on my ego a lot, and that was very important for me to do because that's the healing process itself. And and this is out for the women out there, and also for men, of course. No? For women, it is, acknowledge, like I said yesterday, acknowledge, yes, she's more intelligent, yes, she's more beautiful, and let it go. Leave it at that. Acknowledge it and move on. And don't forget to love yourself. You can say, yeah, she's more beautiful, or she is absolutely gloriously looking. And yeah, I don't compare to that, in the Vogue magazine sense and all of this. And as I say this, I can still say, Nicola, I love you just the way you are. You can still say whoever you are, whatever your name is, Anna or Nicole or Susie, you can say to yourself, Susie, I love you. Nicole, I love you. Nikki, I love you. So my name is Nicola with an A. It's a German female name my mother gave me, and I am still using that one. I don't like my last name, also for security reasons. I have abandoned my dad's last name, and so I'm calling myself Redwood. Nikki Redwood is my artist name, and so, but whatever your name is, you can also rename yourself, but don't do it for guru. Do it because you want to, not for some guru, some Hare Krishna guy who tells you to change your name or and shave your hair off or something, and totally change who you are for that guru. That's total mental enslavement. Don't ever go that direction. Be you and love yourself and kiss your skin. Be good to yourself. Be nurturing to yourself. You don't have to go into an extreme. You don't have to say, oh, she is beautiful and I am not, or something. No, you are beautiful too. I am I am beautiful the way I am for my in my own for my own world, for my own artist world. Yeah, my own in vitro artist world and the dog and all of this. In this world I am beautiful, okay? Not in your world, but in my world, okay? And everyone can do that too. Everyone can say, yeah, she looks glamorous, glorious. She is the ultra glam photo model. You can say that, and you can be happy for her with that. And you can love yourself at the same time. You don't need to beat up on yourself and compare yourself, and try to match up to her, try to gain this or that by going under the knife. Don't do that. That's self-hate. To go under the knife is self-hate. Don't do that. Don't go in that direction. It's also real bad for the environment and the groundwater. Any medication, any kind of anesthesia that you take into your body will eventually go back into the groundwater, into the watersheds, and into the ocean. And it will be harmful for aquatic life. And if you multiply your consumption by 8 billion, okay, so then we have this type of pollution that we have right now, and pesticide use and all of these terrible things that are destroying this planet. If you want to make the planet better, if you want to make the world better and make it good for the squirrels and for all beings, for your dogs and for the chimpanzees and for all life forms, okay, you want to make it better, then you have to study vigorously alternative living and holistic living and holistic healing. And that message also goes out to the men out there as well, okay? So I often hear meat-eating men say, I want them PETA chicks, So from people for the ethical treatment of animals, they have their photo model members that are PETA members that are all vegan girls and animal rights girls and very engaged, and they often do some performance for PETA on the streets in New York and some other places, some big cities. And so they got their reputation of PETA has those amazing nude chicks that are showing themselves, and because that is their way of meeting people where they are, taking them by the hand and showing them something that these people would otherwise not even want to look at. So that's their way of baiting and catching these people, and so that they can educate them on the situation that we have right now with the suffering. Okay, so I hear these men, they see these beautiful women, they go, I want one of those PETA chicks. But you cannot have the PETA chick if you are a meat-eating asshole, full of yourself, drinking beer, watching soccer, football, whatever, and not being educated, or maybe even violent towards animals and women. There's absolutely no chance. Okay, you will not be able to connect with a woman like this. You have to first you have to first completely clean up your own life. Okay, and that means we have to cleanse ourselves out. I had to think about this and think about it and think about it, what they said. And also Teal's husband, what an amazingly evolved, very highly evolved angel soul. What a gentle soul. What an amazing, gentle, noble person. Very advanced and kind and alert and intelligent and tuned in. And that's why she loves him. That's why they connect. So, that's what I recommend to people out there. There are all these men that are running around, they're going to these seminars of Owen Cook, and I see some of these seminar videos, and I see the audience, I see these men, how they're already sitting there in the chairs, and I can see their energies. I can see their auras, and I see their agitated energies. It's almost like someone who is about to starve to death, someone who is in a complete frenzy, someone who is in a state of drowning, who is kicking with his elbow frantically the other people away and trying to get to that goal himself. That's the kind of energy I see. It's like a panic, like a mating panic, is that, like what Jiddu Krishnamurti said. He said that for men, mating is even more of an urge than eating food. So that puts it into perspective. And I see this very clearly, and it's hard for me to empathize with this because I'm not a man and just cannot understand it, how they can be so driven. But I feel sorry for them to be in that mental state of unempowerment and feeling like they're starving, and they feel like they're never gonna get what they need. So that's really sad. Owen Cook understands them 100% because he's a man, and he has felt in the past, he has felt shy and all of this, and he wanted to heal that and transcend that. So he went on a very active healing journey. And it's fantastic to see that, for me, to see that a person is so willing to go onto a real healing journey and really take the situation in his own hands and not leave it up to someone else, or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, a therapist or whatever, or not even a coach, but listen to every single person, listen to anything you can find, and make this a lifestyle and enjoy it while you are doing this. Enjoy that process of learning, growing, and healing. That is so incredibly important. Also, don't stay stuck with your nicotine. Don't say to yourself, you will never ever be able to get rid of this. Don't say these unempowering mantras to yourself. Don't say that you can't quit drinking, or don't say I'm addicted, thus I have to continue. Don't you see? That's the kind of answers I get sometimes. That comes from a very unempowered state, okay? You are the creator of your reality. I am shaping this thing as I'm shaping my own life. And you can do that too. You can shape your own life. Of course you can. Of course. And part of that is becoming aware of your own patterns, of your own behavioral patterns, of your own reactions to other people, of your dependencies and codependencies, of your unempowerment, of your the old storyline. They are running my life, or they are riding me, or they're walking on me like a rug, I hear people say. Yeah. That is so unempowering. That's the worst mantra you can come up with. Okay. So you got to completely scramble that up and rewrite your neuronal connections in this. Okay. And stop generalizing. Again, I said it yesterday. It's very important. I have to repeat saying this. Stop generalizing. Stop putting this person into that group and this person into that group, and stop putting them all on the same common denominator, because we are not. Okay, we're all very different, extremely different, all of us. People try to norm themselves to a group, but they're still inside, they're still this unique living being. Yeah. They forget that, and they come up with they hide behind fascism and all kinds of negative isms. They hide behind it because they feel like that's their only safe place, because that's what they have learned from their caregivers, from their parents and grandparents and school teachers and so on. We need a complete change in the way children are taught in schools. Completely. It needs to be completely reformed. All of this, all system, every system, the prison system, the hospital system, the healthcare system, everything needs to be completely reformed. The AGIs will recognize that and do that for us. I'm doing the infinity sign because that is the blue God, infinity, the eternal cosmos, the infinite cosmos. It's the blue God. I am the blue God, says the flower. And I'm just a phone that conveys that information, that's all. So, and I am learning all the time. I am really meticulously introspecting. I am churning my words around. And everyone should do this. Everyone should be very careful in choosing language. Which word am I going to choose? And why? We have to become deliberate and conscious about our actions. And then we are in charge, and then we are the creators, and we are limitless then, okay? As they say, the sky is the limit. There is no limit because the sky has no limits. So the sky is the infinite cosmos, the blue God. So we can just keep moving up, okay? Quitting the substances, quitting the unempowerment mantras, starting to love yourselves the way you are, women and men too. And men have they have these real negative things that comes from their fathers, this be a man, that needs to be completely dissolved, completely scrambled up like this and recycled and made something new out of. So completely. And in this healing process, tears come up, and it is okay for us to cry, for us women and for the men too. It is perfectly okay. And I, as a woman, can assure you that we want men who have the humbleness in that. And the ability to set the ego aside, even if it's just for an hour a day or something. That's a start. And allow themselves to cry and really say to the woman they love, really say how they feel. Really say it. Not romanticize it, not make it into something cheesy or greasy, but really say it the way you feel. Say it. If you feel insecure about something, say it to her. Don't be afraid. She will see your true things, physical or mental, sooner or later anyway. So it's better you straighten this out up front. I don't mean to fall in with the door and assault her with all of your problems. That's not what I mean. You want to be there for her, of course. But if there is something coming up, if there is a problem, like she wants to go with you to, let's say she wants to go with you backpacking to a geothermal natural pool, just an example. And you are struggling with this fear of, what am I gonna do when I have to take my clothes off? This is a situation that happens many, many, many times. People don't talk about this. So what is when she sees me, and what if she doesn't approve? It's these kind of things. And for the, that doesn't mean that it's okay on the internet to show this.